Hey guys, Bill Jeppy here, Kimberly Vassal Insurance Beer Snob. It is Friday again, so that means another beer review. We are one day away from the first day of fall, if you can believe that. And I thought it was fitting that they're starting to hit the market. They actually start to hit the market in August to get into some pumpkin beers. And I try to keep it local and get you some stuff that you can actually go out and purchase in the tri-state area here. I want to thank my friends over at Wilmington Wine Company for providing me with some of these beers, so definitely check them out if you're in the Wilmington area. But what I'm going to do is knock this out in a two-part series. I'm going to try to hit a few up today and a few next week, give you a good idea of what I liked and what I didn't like, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to get a few of these cracked open, and I'll see you pretty soon. First one into a glass here, and we're going to start from the beginning with this. And what I mean by that is Dogfish Head Brewery in Milton, Delaware, we always have them on, was kind of the originator for this style of beer, the pumpkin beer. They actually started it at a competition they have in lower Delaware called Punkin. In 1994, they hadn't even opened their brewery yet. He was on the home brewing scale, that's Sam Calgione. Was on the home brewing scale then, and brought it to the competition and ended up being a favorite of everybody there, and it kind of was the beer that built their brewery, if you want to go that far, because the next year in '95 they opened their brew pub in Rehoboth and their factory in '96, and they took off from there, and now they're a big one. So with the Punkin, this is their fall seasonal beer. They release this on September 1st every year. It gets brewed in the summertime because you have to get it done early, and it hits the market on September 1st. And their recipe's a little bit different than some of the other ones we might look at here. This is actually, they describe it on the label as a full-body brown ale brewed with real pumpkin, brown sugar, allspice, cinnamon, and nutmeg. It's a 7% alcohol beer, so a little bit bigger than some of the other pumpkin beers out there. So, it packs a little bit of a wallop. They said it's a brown ale recipe, but if you can tell from the color here, it's pretty much, it looks like an IPA almost. It's an orangey color, a little bit of haze on it. Maybe that's just chill haze. A lot of times if it's been in the refrigerator for a little bit, gets a little chill haze, and that goes away with time as it warms. The head, when I first poured it, was about a half a finger. Whenever I talk fingers, it's like that. It was about a half finger or bright white. It's come down to a little ring around the edges of the glass. I could smell it as soon as I opened it. Real strong on the spice, but I'll get right in there. Yeah, you're definitely getting that allspice and that cinnamon. I know that Sam Calgione and the brewmaster there goes to their to the ends of the earth to find ingredients for their beers. Sometimes putting a lot of money and effort into finding them. And I think they use some pretty unique spice blends on this. And you can really smell it. It almost masks the pumpkin character, even though it's underneath there. The spices kind of dominate right now, and a lot of people, myself included, can age these bottles. This is a 2011. This one just came out September 1st, but you can age them and see how they develop, and maybe the pumpkin will come up and the spices will go down with time. I'm gonna dig into this one and let you know what I think of it. Yeah, I mean, I've had this beer a number of times already this year, the 2012, and I went back and looked at some of the older ones. And really heavy on the spices, definitely getting that allspice and the nutmeg, and the touch of cinnamon that's there as well. Some of the other beers that are on the market kind of taste like pumpkin pie. This one, it doesn't have that, the graham cracker crust or the pumpkin pulp that you would envision with a pumpkin pie. This is definitely a beer. You can taste a little bit of the alcohol in the back, but nothing too bad. It is, again, the spices mask the pumpkin character. I know they use a lot of real pumpkin mash, a lot of real pumpkin fruit in the boil process, but I think that late edition spice blend that I heard online they're adding to it, when it's fresh, dominates that pumpkin character. Not a bad beer by any means. People love this beer in the area. It is one of the top sellers, especially at our Wilmington Wine Company. But there are other ones on the market that if you like that pumpkin character, you might want to tend towards first. Mouthfeel wise, it's medium bodied. A lot of that comes from the brown ale base of the beer and also the alcohol, making it a little bit more medium bodied than light body. So they do fill you up a little bit. They would pack a wallop if you had a couple of them. Overall grade on this one this year. It's a good beer. I mean, people love it. I tend to like other ones a little bit better. I'm going to give this one an 88 today. The 2012 Punkin from Dogfish Head, I'm going to give it an 88. Don't let that dissuade you from purchasing it. It's actually a really, really tasty beer. Perfect for the season when the weather starts to turn a little bit chillier. Definitely pick it up. They come in 4-packs and they run about $9.99 for a 4-pack. And it's definitely worth your time. So an 88 for the Dogfish Head Punkin 2012 edition. We'll get on to the next one here. Okay, so we got the second beer in the pumpkin series here poured. This is the Stegmaier Pumpkin Ale, and I chose this one because they're from Wilkes-Barre, PA. A lot of people probably don't know about this brewery. We got them into the liquor store, I want to say last year. They're an old brewery. It says on the label here 150 years. What I found online was that early 1900s, the Lion Brewery, and Lion's Head is another one you might see that is Stegmaier, bought Stegmaier in 1974. So they've been around for a while. They make a line of IPAs and pale ales and that kind of thing, lagers. And I don't know how long they've been making this. I couldn't find much information about it, but I know we had it last year. And I actually liked it more than the Dogfish Head, which we just had here. So I want to see how it compares this year. So I just cracked it open. This is a 12-ounce bottle. This one comes in, it actually doesn't display the alcohol is 5.5 on this. So you got a whole percentage point and a half lower on the alcohol. The beer is a little bit clearer than the other one, but it is bright orange. I mean, it's really orangey yellow here. Again, the bright white would ring ahead on here. I would say that when I opened the bottle, I could smell this one as well, and I got a lot more cinnamon and nutmeg. Yeah, cinnamon, nutmeg, more so than the Dogfish Head before. And one thing I want to make a comment about the Dogfish Head prior was that in sipping it, I got more of that brown sugar. They actually put that on the label, and that's that taste that I was getting from that one. It was a sweetness, overly sweet beer towards the end of it with the brown sugar. But going back to this one, I'm going to dig my nose in a little bit further, really getting those spices dominated, not getting a lot of pumpkin character. Again, fresh beers, adding the spices late in the boil process, you're probably going to smell that off the nose and get more of the pumpkin character when you taste it. So we'll dig right in. Cheers. Okay, so this beer, obviously, from the appearance it looks different, from the smell it was different, and from the taste it was different. This is more of your almost tasting like pumpkin pie kind of character on this one. Definitely get that pumpkin flesh in the flavor. The spices kind of hit you on the tip of the tongue and give you a little spike on your palate, but then that flesh of the pumpkin comes in, and it's welcoming. And I remember reviewing this the same way last year. I gravitate towards those more pumpkin fleshy in the middle than overly spicy, and that's exactly what this is. I think it's really pleasant. The lower alcohol helps. It's definitely a little thinner in body. It still probably would get into that medium-bodied character, but I think the fact that you get more pumpkin flesh, pumpkin fruit character in it is really pleasant. Same spice bills are there as the Dogfish Head. They probably had the nutmeg, the allspice, the cinnamon, the brown sugar. Maybe not as much brown sugar because it seemed like the Dogfish Head had more of that, but yeah, definitely more pumpkin pie. Now, is it the best one on the market? By no means. But if that's what you like, and it seems that's what my palate likes, I'd probably gravitate towards this one more than that one. Plus the fact that you could drink another one of these and not feel overwhelmed. Actually, with the pumpkin beers, I'm probably not going to have that many of them because it's just not a style I really love. Rating wise for this one, I'm going to put a point higher than Dogfish Head. Again, I'm rating it higher than my home state beer. I'm going to give this one an 89. Definitely something to check out. A lesser known brewery. Not everybody looks at that label and says, "Hey, I want to pick up the Stegmaier Pumpkin Ale," but it's something different. If you're doing a pumpkin beer tasting or you want to try different ones that are out on the market and just see what you really gravitate towards, and give it a whirl. Again, 89 on my scale. When we get into some other ones next week, people take a little bit different spin on the variety of the pumpkin ale. They've gone into pumpkin porters and pumpkin stouts, so you have more of that chocolate pumpkin aspect, and that's what one of these beers is over here, and I've been meaning to get to try it. I'm looking forward to that because that stouts are a big category that I really enjoy. So I'm going to leave you with a cheers, happy autumn, happy fall, enjoy some pumpkin beers on some of these chilly nights that are upcoming, and always from Kimberly Vassell to you, drive safe and enjoy amazing beers. Cheers.